Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the March 8th Lebanon Board of Works meeting. Our first order of business with the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Milburn, you lead us, please?
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, now move on to the roll call of members. Madam Clerk, we call the roll, please.
Mayor Gentry.
Present.
Rebecca McClure.
Present.
Bill Stoner.
Present.
Dick Robertson.
Present.
Alan Milburn.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, now we'll move on to the approval of our minutes from our last meeting. Are there any changes to those minutes? Okay, we entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion we approve the minutes.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay, those minutes are approved. All right, on to department head reports. First up is Police Department, Chief Morgan.
Good evening, board members. Since our last meeting, the Lebanon Police Department has responded to 647 calls for service. A total of 26 people were arrested for the following crimes: 7 for operating while intoxicated, 4 were wanted on a warrant, 6 for possession of meth, 1 for battery, 2 for invasion of privacy, 3 for possession of marijuana, 1 for theft, 1 for driving while suspended, and 1 for armed robbery. In that same time frame, 25 handgun carry licenses were sent off to the state for final approval. On February 22nd, Officers Kamaj and Griffin completed training at the Lafayette Police Department. They're now certified as Master Public Information Officers. On March 4th, Officers Custis, Sobek, Thomas, and Winnings were issued their patrol rifles after they completed the department's patrol rifle course, and they qualified with them. On March 5th, Officer Edmonds completed the Detectichem training course. This is a training course on the use of portable testing kits. Then the last thing I have is, as of the end of last month, all of the patrol division officers have got their new X2 multi-shot tasers. So they've all been issued out and trained up with them. That's all I have.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief from the board?
No.
Anything from the public? Okay, thank you, sir. Next up is Fire Department, Chief Batts.
Good evening, excuse me, good evening, everyone. Since the last Board of Works meeting, Lebanon Fire has made 118 emergency calls for service. We have logged 299 training hours and completed 39 commercial inspections. On February 23rd, 24th, and 25th, all 3 shifts completed simulation lab training at Witham Hospital. And just a quick overview of the training: a simulation lab is set up in a real-world scenario performed in real time. And there's several different parts you can participate in. They have an operating room, they have an emergency call for service area, and the director can speak through the training dummy and set up scenarios. So we chose an adolescent pregnancy, to where our crews come in and interview the patient and find out that she has an imminent birth, and they actually have to go through and deliver the baby, while the simulation lab personnel is talking through the patient and giving them vitals and different things. And it's just a very real life scenario. So we chose this because we do go on those calls to service. They're very rare. And I'd like to thank Joe LePage. He put together a wonderful video that I shared with you through our Dropbox link, and we've also put it on our Facebook page. And I'd also like to thank Nan Howland of the Witham Simulation Lab for the great opportunity that we had to come in and do this training. Can't say enough about it. The crews gave rave reviews on it, and it was just a very unique situation. So if you have a chance, check out the video. It was great training for our department. Beginning on March 1st, firefighter Chad Hale is enrolled in Fire Officer 1 state certification. This is a base certification for our firefighters to build a resume to go through the ranks. On March 3rd, we ended our pre-application process for the current hiring process. We ended up with 154 pre-applications. So we're currently going through and evaluating those. Our next phase will be the written aptitude test, and that has a date to be not determined yet. So we will get that out to you. Starting tomorrow, firefighters will begin their annual work performance evaluation. The WPE is an annual aptitude test that is time that firefighters must complete each year to remain on an on-duty status. We also use the WPE to do a return to work status for if you have an extended illness or injury. So the last thing I have is a fun little anecdote here. It is time for the Zonta Club's annual purse modeling auction, and this is something we've helped the Zonta Club with every year. And all the funds raised in the purse modeling auction will go to a female senior of Lebanon, Western Boone, or Zionsville High School for a scholarship. And this year it's also being offered to any female that wants to go through a secondary education. They can apply for the scholarship. So we got a visit from the Zonta Club at Station 11, and some firefighters volunteered to do some purse modeling, all in good fun. So we put those pictures up on our Facebook page, and also Zonta Club will be sharing those as well. So feel free to check out our Lebanon firefighters modeling purses in the name of a good cause. That's all I have for this evening.
Now, Chief, did they volunteer or were they voluntold?
A little of both.
Okay.
They took it really well. They were good sports. They had some fun with it. So we have some great pictures up on our social media page, and then I shared one with you as well in the attachments.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate
Thank
that. Any questions for Chief from the board? Anything from the public? All right, thank you. All right, next up will be Parks Department. John Messenger.
Good evening. Beautiful out there today, isn't it? Parks are full. Big Four trail work, we're still working on it, and the underbrush and limbs. Outdoor facade work, LED lighting, revamping of the entrance of the pool has begun as well. We're also working on replacement of metal on the maintenance barns, gazebo restoration. There's quite a bit of work to do there. Opening of the restrooms and pre-emergent applications to the mulch beds uptown into all our mulch beds, along with all the sports fields, along with adding mulch right now. Downtown's done, we're in the parks now. With better weather and all the youth sports and obviously a lot of traffic today, I pushed the little girl. She's learning how to ride her bike. Mom had 3 children and kind of busy with one on the way, by the way, and I got to help that little girl ride her bike, run alongside. God, is that fun. I got a great job. Needless to say, it's beautiful out. But be mindful of those people. You got a lot of little ones out. Just be mindful when you're driving through the park and slow down, please. Our restroom facilities at both Abner Longley and Memorial Park will be opening up on March 10th. Keep in mind that our restrooms at Memorial Park by the baseball diamond are open year-round, so they are still open. Wednesday, everything's on track, so they will be opening. Those other 2 will be opening Wednesday. We have teamed up with Let's Go Sports again this year. We'll be offering tiny hitters, t-ball, and all sports champs. Both programs are designed for 3 to 5-year-old kids. Just visit our Facebook page for more information or call the park office. This is the last week for our spring pickleball league registration. The league consists of 3 divisions: men's doubles, women's doubles, and co-ed doubles. Visit our website, LebanonParks.org, for more information on how to sign up, or call the parks office or stop in. Mayor, you got in there last week, got your team going, I see. That's awesome. Our scavenger hunt is now available and will run from April 1st until April 1st. You can find the hunt on our Facebook page or stop by into the park office. Be sure to stop back into the parks office once you have completed the hunt to claim your prize. There were a few in today, and the guys love it that Allison Morton, our programs director, pick up 3 pieces of trash while you're out there. So that's the guys at the shop really enjoyed that, and getting them in good behavior modes. Our Easter egg hunt is set for Saturday, April 3rd. The hunts will start at 10:30 a.m. at Memorial Park. The age groups are 2 to 4, 5 to 7, and 8 to 10. Each egg hunt winner will receive special gift from the Easter Bunny that will be appearing there this year. Didn't get to have it last year and sure are looking forward to it. Already have approval from the health department and all their guidelines Obviously, social distancing and mask wearing will be recommended. So that's all I have.
Thank you, John. Any questions for John from the board? Anything from the public? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next up, Engineering Department, Kevin Krulik.
Thank you, board members. Engineering report for March 8th. I appreciate you allowing me to be away for your last meeting. I was out west having a good time with my son. I appreciate the opportunity to take that little break. But back before you now, I'll give you an update on what's going on. A couple of downtown updates. Really, we're pretty much done with downtown, but we did order some additional trash cans. Those arrived in the last couple of weeks, and I thank the Parks Department for accepting delivery of those and getting those out. You might not notice those, but there's a few more trash cans downtown. Hopefully that will help with some of the litter issues that we see from time to time. And let's see, a couple nights ago, you might have noticed a Facebook post where in the middle of the night I made a post about us lining a sewer along Main Street on the south side of the square. So this was a unique project. That sewer was not scheduled to be replaced with the original infrastructure project. It was tested and deemed to be working acceptably at the time, but I had concerns because of the age of that pipe. But when discovered during construction, it was at a depth and a proximity to the building with a lot of building connections. This is right up against the buildings along the south side of Main Street, that we decided it would be best to line that pipe as opposed to try to replace it. So that's what we did. We had priced that out over a year ago, and the price was just, we thought, astronomically high. We thank our friends at Lebanon Utilities for allowing us to bid that project with their lining projects. And that now is complete. It's a really unique process where basically they think of like turning a sock inside out, if you will, when you're doing your laundry. So essentially, we put an inverted sock into one end of that pipe. We use air to invert and pull that sock right side out all the way down through the pipe. It's a felt material that's impregnated with resins. We then flood that pipe, or that sock, if you will, with steam. The steam activates the resin. At the end of the day, we have a plastic-lined pipe that studies have shown will last upwards of 50 years in comparison to any storm sewer pipe material that we would put in. So we're able to save some money over the cost and total reconstruction. It now will last for as long as any other infrastructure down there, and we avoided any of the potential danger of dealing with those historic pipes and historic buildings and connections and proximity to foundations. So that did happen last week, so you may have noticed that going on. Other projects that are in the works, there's the Elmwood Bridge. We have selected Clark Dietz to do that design work. And we had our kickoff meeting last week with a consultant, with myself, as well as Boone County, as they will eventually maintain that bridge once it is replaced. And happy to report we are also working on efforts to replicate the decorative bridge rails and planters that are on that bridge. Because it is a historic structure, listed as contributing to the the historic district of Ulen, we are doing everything we can to be respectful to that. Jumping over to some active living projects. Still working on right-of-way acquisitions along Riley Road, along Witt Road, Lafayette Avenue, Elm Swamp. That's really some of the areas where we're going to be trying to fill some gaps on sidewalks throughout the city this year. And then, if we're talking about active living, we got to mention the Big Four trail work. Very excited to hear about the announcement that we received the Next Level Trails grant. This will take the Big Four Trail from downtown, past this building, on to Abner Longley Park, through Abner Longley Park, essentially connecting the Big Four Trail all the way through the city of Lebanon, as well as some work out further northeast in the county where we'll be resurfacing some of the trail work there. It's basically a $2.5 million grant with $1.4 million in matching funds, and we're just real excited to move forward with that. Also want to say thanks and congrats to our friends in Zionsville, who received $1.8 million for some additional Big Four trail work. DLZ is our design contractor on that one, and they are already hard at work at developing those construction documents in an effort to be ready for construction approximately a year from now. Moving on to other things, let's see. Fordyce Street utility coordination is ongoing. And we had our preliminary field check meeting with the utility providers 2 weeks ago. Also, happy to report that we've begun right-of-way acquisition services. Those have been released, and their consultants, GAI, are working on that. And then also later tonight for your consideration is a reimbursement agreement that we have proposed between us and Fisher Homes. Fisher Homes getting ready to develop the Cedar Ridge neighborhood, and they are willing to upsize their storm sewer system, and we are willing to reimburse them for that upsizing so that we have a positive outlet for the road reconstruction project. This will relieve a lot of flooding along the road, as well as some flooding and standing water issues inside the Morningside neighborhood. And then moving on to the Stone Eater Bike Park. Happy to report some of our partnerships we've been talking about are now official. We are officially partnered with the Sundance Mountain Bike Skills Clinic to offer for free clinics at the park. We are also officially under an agreement with Marian University, Bicycle Garage of Indy, who also donated $10,000, and very thankful to the Boone County CDB for their donation of $100,000 to support the park. We are continuing to work through our idem approvals. We met with several representatives from idem last week, along with our environmental consultants, to discuss the pending approvals and some of the required testing and monitoring that will be associated with the project. All is moving forward as expected, and we're expecting some of those approvals to be put in writing here, or at least updates from idem to be put in writing in the next couple of days. On that note, we hear some of the complaints we hear about the bike park. Figured it'd be a good opportunity to share them here, or some of the concerns we hear is it going to be environmentally safe? I can overwhelmingly say yes, and so can idem. They have no worries about redeveloping a landfill in this capacity. They've done it in several other capacities around the state. Keep in mind that we're going to have to scour that site and remove any trash that's still found to be on the surface. We are also then adding significantly to the clay cap, essentially making a situation where any trash that's buried on site will be buried under 2 to 10 foot of fill. So the chances of anyone exposing that trash are very, very slim, if not impossible. Also happy to report, we have previously tested well water in that area. There were 9 wells that were tested in 2001. None found to have anything that would be harmful to drinking water standards. There were also 3 well testings done for the Trophy Club course, and 2 of those 3 were completely clean. The third one actually was into the trash on our property. That's the only one that showed any potential impacts to drinking water. So the groundwater supply seems to be protected, and only in concern on the site. And of course, idem will require us to sign an agreement saying we will never drill any wells on that site or build any significant structures, and we are happy to do so. So that is moving forward. The other concern I hear from people is, why a bike park? Is it safe? Is that something that we really want to open ourselves up to? I've been doing some research. Happy to report that actually mountain biking is by no means the most dangerous sport you can do. And in fact, when you look at rates of injury per 1,000 exposures, so this is, if you spend an hour doing a sport, how many injuries? What is your rate of injury? Any injury requiring any kind of reporting or medical attention. Mountain biking ranks at 1.54 injuries per 1,000 exposures. You might find this hard to believe, but the worst one on the list, well, if you eliminate bull riding and ice hockey, if you eliminate bull riding and ice hockey, the worst sport on the list is baseball at 14.5 injuries per 1,000 exposures. Basketball, for instance, is about 11.1 versus mountain biking at 1.5. So it's about, you might say it's about 10 times safer to mountain bike as it is to play basketball. Now, let's be honest, your injuries may be a little more severe in mountain biking than in those other sports, and the statistics I'm citing are citing all injuries. So, obviously there are different injuries that are, inherent to any sport. So obviously with mountain biking, you do see some more, broken bones and things of that nature. But also happy to report that of all injuries reported in mountain biking, less than 5% actually require emergency medical attention. So again, there are some more severe injuries, less injuries on the whole, and those injuries typically do not require any emergency medical attention. So I just wanted to share a couple of those statistics with you. Those are probably the two most concerning issues that we have brought up about the potential park. So I wanted to try to give you some more facts to base that off of. And then last but certainly not least, I do want to thank Scott Calvert, our Public Works Inspector, for the following report. He does a great job of keeping abreast of everything that's going on in the field and catching things that, quite frankly, that I just can't. So we appreciate all of his efforts. Sunbrook Villas Phase 1, happy to report that all the infrastructure is now complete, at least on site. There is some work along Whit Road that will have to take place, and that was delayed due to utility conflicts and the weather, of course. That is tentatively scheduled for April 15th. That will involve some small road closures, but we'll more about that as we get closer to that. But look for those road closures around April 15th. Auburn Meadows Phase 3, the storm and water is now complete. Water main is being tested and water service installations have begun. Out in the Lebanon Business Park, work ongoing at the Building 16 site. They are currently working, all the walls are up and they're working on the east drainage basins. Unfortunately, we did have some curb that was damaged due to the water main crossing, but this is a good example where Scott was there to witness this, and those issues are going to be repaired, and we will require that of the developer. Sunbrook Phase 2, water main and storm sewer installation is now complete. Water services are being installed. And upcoming, we will see some curb repairs based on the final punch list and finished lot grading, getting ready to start releasing those lots for construction. Project Isle, or the New Cold Project, foundations continue. Private storm sewer and water, private utilities are also going. Lebanon Airstream, unfortunately, we hated to do this, but we had to issue a stop work order on that project. They started work before they had finished up all their approvals. But happy to report that I believe they will pull their final permits tomorrow and get back to work out there. And miscellaneous other projects, we're just working with some expansions down at the Pratt Storage Facility on the south side of town, as well as some other things happening with the IMI site to the west here, and working with Lebanon Utilities on the upcoming Syracuse Drive water replacement project, including the Maple Street laydown yard next to the soccer fields that they've been installing over the last couple of days. So that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Hey, Kevin, any questions for Kevin from the board? Go down.
Yeah, I do have one question. On the Elmwood Bridge,
Yes.
what's the provision? That bridge is so unique. What's the provision for people getting in and out of there as far as the Elmwood residents or emergency vehicles or whatever when that
Yep.
bridge is being replaced?
We've already been under discussions with one of the owners out there that has a through driveway going in and out from Elmwood Drive out to Elm Swamp. And happy to report they're going to allow us a temporary easement. We will probably need to widen their driveway slightly to make sure that we've got good access for traffic and emergency vehicles and trash pickup, things of that nature. And then part of that agreement will be once we're done, we'll put their driveway back to the way it used to be. We will resurface their driveway, and this will allow us to save money on the bridge construction and save time on the bridge construction so that we can do it under a full closure.
Thank you.
Dick, do you have a question?
What's the date on the public hearing for the county on the bike park? Is there
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, thank you. We'll be appealing the director's decision that this is a park and that this is publicly owned on March 24th. So we would ask anyone that wants to support the bike park and wants to see the bike park to join us in letting your voice be heard. Again, that's March 24th at 7 p.m. And that hearing will be held at the Witham Pavilion at the fairgrounds.
Any other questions from the board? Anything from the public? Okay, thank you, Kevin, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next up is Planning Department, Vin Bodriger.
Good evening, board members. Planning report for this evening. As I had mentioned last time, when we get 14 inches of snow, we don't see a lot of planning department activity. Of course, the snow melted, so we returned quickly to our previous activities. So we did complete 46 building inspections over the last couple of weeks and issued 33 building permits. We did have one new home permit and then a number of different other items that were on the report. So happy to report that as soon as that snow melts, everybody gets back to doing business, and we did see a lot of people in and out of our office over the last few days looking at projects, so that's good news. In terms of code enforcement, again, activity picked up significantly over the last couple of weeks as again the snow melted. So we continue to do a lot of work there, a lot of good work getting done, keeping track of those things and moving forward with all those items. So we are working with the police department to try to see if there are ways that we can be more efficient in how we interact with them and some of the items where we both track separately. So that continues to be ongoing, hoping to make that process more efficient moving forward, being able to address more cases as they come to us. One final thing, we did, along with our consultant, Rundell Ernsberger, who helped us complete the comprehensive plan a year and a half ago. We submitted the comprehensive plan website for consideration for an award from the Indiana chapter of the American Planning Association, and I'm happy to report that we were just notified about a week ago that we received an honorable mention in the Outstanding Comprehensive Plan category. They did have a conference last Thursday and Friday, but it was all virtual, so I'm not sure if they actually even did any award announcements. So there not much fanfare as it related to those this year, but we were happy to receive some recognition for our work on that comprehensive plan. So a big thank you to everybody who helped participate in that process and putting that plan together. And that's all I've got.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions for Ben from the board? Anything from the public? Okay, thanks, sir. Next is Street and Stormwater Department, Dave Newell.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Report's kind of short, but it really doesn't justify as busy we've been. Definitely busy cleaning off drains, especially with that last big rain and all the snow melting. We were knee deep in that stuff, trying to get that all cleaned up. We had a few stop signs we've been putting up. Finally got the locates in, and when it's snow on the ground, it was kind of hard for them to locate everything we need. Nothing was an emergency, but we're getting those put back up. The guys have been super busy cleaning up trash around town. We know the park does downtown, so we just took off 2 blocks all the way from downtown and just started picking up trash. We went out by Popeyes and cleaned all that up by Kroger's today. So got some time, before we get super busy. We just figured we'd go get some trash off. It's pretty trashy around town, probably because of winter, who knows, but we're getting it cleaned up. Doing a lot of cold patch repairs, a lot of potholes. We had probably 3 pages list of that, but most of it's roads we're going to be replacing, so it should take care of itself. A few alleys we still got to do. I know you mentioned the alley by the post office. We just haven't quite made it yet to the alleys, but we're working on those. Those will be our next thing. We're fixing a drain over by the park, by the baseball field, trying to get that done before baseball season, help John and them out. So we're already kicking off our storm drain repairs. Then we're going to move over by Miller Woods. We got one over there we got to lower down that we're having a problem with. But other than that, the guys are just going at it.
Okay.
Glad it's not snowing. That's all they keep telling me.
Any questions for Dave from the board? I did have one. I had somebody ask me, do we know when we'll put out the pedestrian crossing signs again yet?
Yeah, once we know for sure, we ain't got to put the plows down, they'll be out.
Fair enough. That's what I told them, but I just want to make that public for everybody.
Sectionals is a little iffy, but other than that, usually once we make it past that, we're all right.
I think it's gotten warm enough, people are out walking, and they've gotten used to those, so I think that's what I told them. I just want to make it public
Yeah,
for
the only
everybody.
problem if we do now, and we did get a snow, is we can't, we'd mow them down or have to work around them, and then we'd be in the yards. So we just got to wait a little bit longer, but they'll be down.
Absolutely. All right. Any questions from the public? Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you.
And last but not least, Communications, Community Development, Jill LePage.
Good evening, everyone. Headlining my report tonight, a reinforcement of the department's increased focus on visual media. Maybe for Chief Batts talk about the LFD, Lebanon Fire Department Simulation Lab video that the Communications Department put together. That goes along with the new neighborhoods for the Planning Department, the snowplow prowess of our street department, and soon to be coming down the pike will be the statue effort by our Parks Department and Mayor's Office, as well as a look inside Charco Manufacturing, a company that's growing in our community. Also taking steps to spruce up the city's website. I've said that for a number of reports now, but you really start to see a lot of the changes coming up on Tuesday that began with a lot of the headshots. We now have all the board appointments and elected officers that we have now. We're going to be customizing the look of those to be able to put into the website. Big thank you to our Lebanon Police Department's public information officers. You'll notice their page will take some major changes on tomorrow, starting tomorrow, and those are desired improvements the department had, and they did a really great job, the PIOs, of laying out what exactly they wanted to get out to the public and how they wanted their page to look. And so looking forward to not only rolling out those changes, but then meeting with other departments as well to be able to do similar projects. Banners and Tigers, the latest Tiger that was out last Tuesday, we have Tiger Tuesday now, the alliteration there. It's Carnegie, the library's Tiger at the Carnegie Public Library has a really cool look to him. Looks a lot like he's made of limestone, like our famous limestone pillars on the courthouse. We'll have another Tiger being unveiled tomorrow. We have a couple of test banners in one small, one large to make sure that everything fits along West Main Street, as well as some of the new banners that will be heading downtown. You'll see a lot of familiar faces on those banners, the 32 that we have, the small ones that'll be on West Main Street, and a couple of the new look ones that we'll have around the square as well, the larger banners. And so we look forward to putting those up. A big thanks ahead of time to our street department, Parks Department, and John Mounts Graphics for putting those together, helping us measure and get things all set up. And finally, last but not least, out today is an event you need to mark your calendars for, because it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Coming up on June 5th and 6th. That's right, it is Boone County Summerfest. Now, you may remember last year, Summerfest was planned, and it was unveiled, and then it was rescheduled, and then it was rescheduled again, thanks to COVID, and then it was canceled for 2020. But in 2021, we're kicking COVID out, and we're bringing in 8 awesome bands over 2 great days in one outstanding county. And on Saturday, June 5th, 45 RPM, Dave and Ray, Country, Summer, and Groove Smash will be playing. Maybe you've heard of some of these bands. And then on Sunday, June 6th, The Dews, Stella Luna, the Copper Stills, and the Naughty Yachties will be playing. This is a free event. This is for families. This is for the over 21 crowd, the under 21 crowd. There'll be great food and beverages, both alcohol and non-alcohol beverages will be there, as well as some great food. Many thanks to the Boone County Convention and Visitors Bureau, obviously here at the City of Lebanon, our resources, and Blonde Entertainment. And so more details will be coming out, but we look forward to bringing this event to folks. This will be, of course, socially distanced. A lot of the same protocols that have taken place during a number of different events will take place here as well, but we want to do it later on in the year in order to have this 2-day event in our downtown and once again showcase the great improvements that are down there. But these acts were uniquely planned and scheduled. It's something for everybody. From the younger kiddos that like the top 40 stuff, there are groups for that. Country fans, there's something there for you too. Some of the old school country and older rock and roll, that's great. And then the 45 RPM folks, the British Invasion, that's a lot of Beatles stuff and a lot of oldies for our senior community. So a lot of music for everybody, and so there's no reason not to come to Boone County Summerfest on June 5th and 6th.
Thank you, Joe. Should be another great event. Any questions for Joe from the board? Any questions from the public? Yeah. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Okay, that concludes department head reports. We'll move on to old business. I don't have anything on my agenda. Is there anything from the board? Okay. New business then. First item up is Clues Brews at 125 North Meridian Street, covered terrace request. And I think we have Patrick Clues from Clues Brews.
Hi, and I have Stu Shade, who's our architect as well. And then you want me to show things on?
We've got all, I believe, unless you guys, put them on the overhead there, because I think we've all got digital copies?
All right, so we are seeking approval to put an outdoor terrace on the sidewalk there on Washington Street and Meridian. So this will serve as an expansion to our space, will allow for another about 50 occupants. This also would be an all-season space, so heated. They would have sides that roll down, and this has been approved by the Historical Society or Commission. Yeah, and so when the bake fund in Clusbridge, this was ultimately the most important part with COVID-19. So that's why we're here. And I can let Stu explain more as far as the structure and ask any questions.
Okay.
Hi, as Patrick said, my name is Stu Shade with SRS Architects. And after going through the review prior, it was suggested that we go with a wood self-supporting structure as opposed to a metal structure. That the wood structure is basically a wood canopy that is self-supported by 6x6 posts. The only thing that we're requesting on the canopy is that we are able to do a little bit of tying into the existing building. And brought in a structural engineer, and we're suggesting that we put a treated plate along above the windows. And what we're going to do is, rather than put expansion anchors in that might harm the brick, we're going to drill through and put a through bolt through, that in the event that this canopy would come down and the building could be brought back to original condition, it would go through the mortar joint and not harm the brick. We're afraid that an expansion anchor might do some damage to the brick. So it was his suggestion we do that. So it is self-supporting, so none of the weight is carried onto the existing building, but it should give us a very weather-tight and all-season space. Are there any questions as to the canopy itself? We looked at several different options, and it was suggested that we go with hips on the end, and it will have a metal railing around, and we will be putting plantings at each of the columns. Patrick's actually going to grow hops up those columns, so it ties into the brewery itself.
Well, I think, so tonight we're just evaluating the sidewalk usage. So the HPC is the one that would obviously have more say over what it looks like and things like that. So if they've given you approval, tonight we're just talking about the sidewalk. So, but I appreciate the extra information on that. So any questions for Stu or from Patrick from the board? I know when we started this process, something we talked with them about is we wanted to make sure we maintained ADA accessibility of that sidewalk. So there is still a 5-foot buffer pass through on that, so it is still a usable sidewalk.
How wide is it now?
That'd be a great question for them.
It's about 15 feet, so the structure is set at 9.
The sidewalk is 15, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, so we wanted to, like I said, make sure.
We'll still have 4 feet of sidewalk.
6, yeah.
I believe it's 5 foot left, 60
Okay.
inches as well.
Okay. Okay.
The drains off the canopy, how do they drain?
It is our proposal that we cut the concrete and drain it into the street, then put a plate over the top. We've talked with the city of Lebanon, and they're taking that under advisement, and we're waiting to hear back from them. But we know we have there's a possibility that it needs to be taken to a subsurface catch basin somewhere, but they are working on that now. So we do not have a final word from the city of Lebanon yet.
So potentially like a trench drain, something like that?
Right, it would be, the downspouts would come down the columns, we would cut the sidewalk and put a decorative plate over the top, so that way the water does not run across the sidewalk.
Okay. Okay. So this would be, for the board's just thought, this would be very similar to us, what we did in the alley. For Peoples, I know Peoples never actually used it, but this would be very similar. Again, there's no transfer of property here. We still retain ownership of the sidewalk of the property. Essentially, it's just an agreement to let them use it. Obviously, in this time, I think we've all seen the importance of outdoor dining for restaurants and what that does. And again, I think that this is, honestly, luckily, we already had a wide sidewalk on that part of the downtown. We obviously added a wide sidewalk with intentions of adding allowing restaurants to have flexibility to have outdoor dining on Main Street. But then, this is kind of another area where we could do this. So with that, I mean, is there any other questions or concerns? Again, this has been approved from our Historic Preservation Commission. It's really just about letting a local restaurant use some more space to, serve the more patrons. So hopefully we want to see it full, right? Any questions or concerns from the board? Any public comment concerning this? Does anybody want to? Good, Corey? I'm just going to stay here. We can't hear you at home, so we're going to make you walk up there. So you know how it works.
Hey guys, very supportive of this project. One question I do have, and maybe this is a planning department, but Big 4 connecting to the East Street Trail, is that going to happen on the library side of the road, which would be then across the road?
Yeah, so I can answer that for you. So generally speaking, there isn't a formal connection from the Big 4 to the East Street Trail, but the sidewalk on the north side of Washington Street by the library is also as wide area as well too. So, yep. Any other public comment, questions? Okay.
Makes a good stopping point.
It does, absolutely. Yeah, it's a good reason to cross over. So, okay. With that, then I would entertain a motion to approve the terrace request or the sidewalk usage for Clues Brews at 125 North Marine Street on Washington Street.
I'll make a motion to approve the terrace on East Washington Street for the Clues Brews. And then it also should be subject to the drainage being approved by the stormwater.
Yep. Okay. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, that's approved. Thank you, Patrick. And look forward to see. What's your estimated opening date?
I really don't know.
Ballpark. We're not going to hold you to it. It's okay.
I was hoping the equipment would land this week. It's sitting in Seattle, and they're saying another 4 to 8 weeks. So that kind of ruined my initial plan. I was pushing hard for May 15th. It's still possible, but the equipment would have to really land here within the next 3 weeks to make that happen. So construction-wise, we're moving along. We're supposed to take control of the building April 15th. So then it's the alcohol permits, so we have to make all the beer, right? So we were really trying to get that moving the 15th of March. So obviously we're behind on that part.
So hopefully summertime-ish, roughly then?
Yeah, I would say, our goal, we have beers we haven't released yet, but they're centered around racing, right? So we're pushing hard to open before race day in May.
Very good. Very good.
So
There's a festival June 5th and 6th.
yeah.
I'm trying to be open.
Yeah, originally I was pushing for May 1st. I wanted to open it before I turned 30.
Don't open till you're ready. Make sure you're ready.
Well, very good. Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate it. And
Don't fails.
best luck to you. Okay, next item up is Lebanon Parks Department lighting and playground contracts. John Messenger.
Good evening again. What I'm requesting tonight are approval for the professional service contract between the Lebanon Board Park Commissioners and Cornerstone PDS. There's 2 different projects, 2 different contracts, and the professional services of one of them is $50,100 for the electric. That'll do the lighting in Memorial Park, parking lots, the walk, and also the street lighting. And in this second contract that I have before you is for the playground area in Memorial Park, and that would be for $14,500 for the work described. I think I have it all in both your attachments, attachment A on both of those. And that would be pending on legal review.
Okay. Any questions for John on those contracts? And I believe the park board's already approved these as well?
Yes, they have.
Okay.
That was approved Wednesday night's meeting.
Okay.
And Lori Gross is the commission president and is ready to sign upon approval.
So authorize her to sign all those?
Yes.
Authorize Lori to sign on our behalf? Okay. Any questions from the board on those?
Yes, got one. John, playground area, is
Yes.
that out here at Memorial Park?
Yes, Memorial Park, yes.
Okay.
And
Is that where you
the,
took the building down and that
I'd say
area?
it's gone.
Huh?
Yeah, it's
I know, I saw that
Yeah,
today.
Yeah, the kids are playing on that backhoe probably as we speak. No, I hope not. But, yeah, that is gone. The rest of
Just
the
moving dirt, that's all
the
they're doing.
foundation, and actually, they're taking out a couple trees and everything, so that'll be gone by
Okay.
Friday.
Was this kind of to plan something in that area?
Yes, that is, yeah.
Okay.
There will be a shelter and a play area for all-inclusive playground with the padding, like a lot of them I'm sure you've seen. And there again, for probably the age group 3 to 12, something like that. That's the age group with the nice fenced-in, all handicap accessible.
Sure, cool.
Yes.
So John, just confirm the name of the company is Cornerstone BDS, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. At this time then, I would entertain a motion to approve the proposed contracts with Cornerstone BDS concerning the lighting in Memorial Park, pending final legal review and authorizing Lori Gross to sign on our behalf.
Are we doing both of them or just one at a time?
Yeah, I just thought we'd do them as one, if that's
One
fine.
at a time?
Yep, oh, both at a time, both at the same time.
Okay, I'll
Yep.
make a motion, we approve the professional service contract agreements here with Cornerstone PDS and authorize, and this is all subject to Rob's approval, I'm assuming he's had a chance to look at these, and give Parks Board, Lori Gross, the opportunity to go ahead and sign them once they're approved by Rob.
Okay, we have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, those are approved, thank you, John.
Thank you.
Forward to seeing those going up. All right, next up, secondary plat and surety acceptance for Sunbrook Section 3, and this is Kevin.
Thank you. Might as well get comfy here. I think I have the next few items.
You do.
Yes, this is for Sunbrook Section 2. I gave you an update of where they were at in construction, completing that project earlier. So essentially, this is for their maintenance and performance sureties associated with the platting of that section. So again, it's Sunbrook Development LLC, Sunbrook Section 2, asking for your approval on the sureties associated with maintenance and performance on that project.
So Kevin, the motion then is to accept the secondary plat?
Yes, sorry, to accept the secondary plat, which includes accepting the right-of-way dedications thereon, and then you are accepting, in consideration of accepting that plat, you are accepting performance sureties totaling $75,001.05, covering asphalt surface, sidewalks, common sidewalks, monumentation, regulatory signage, and erosion control. And then maintenance sureties totaling $126,017.75. That would cover sanitary sewers, storm sewers, subsurface drains, curbs, stone, intermediate asphalt, water mains, and water services. So again,
And
yes, the motion.
just clarify, so it's Section 2 or Section 3?
Section 2.
Section 2, okay, sorry, mistake on the agenda there. Okay, any questions for Kevin on that? Okay, at this time then, I would entertain a motion to accept the secondary plat related right-of-ways associated with that, as well as the surety bonds for Sunbrook Section 2. You can just say so moved if that's acceptable.
I'll make a motion to approve the secondary plat and surety acceptance for Sunbrook Section 2.
Okay, so we have a motion to accept. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, those are approved. Kevin, still yours.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is bid openings for the road and structure associated with the Whit Road Bridge. I have 4 bid packages here total that were received today by the 3 p.m. deadline. 2 contractors essentially. The way we broke it up is there is separate bids for the road and separate bids for the bridge. And then the bridge project has the a discount alternate written into it if they are awarded for both projects. So first up, I will open the road project bids. Again, we received two packages. The first one is from HIS Construction Incorporated. And the base bid amount, again for HIS for the road portion of the project, is $329,523 or $520.23. Again, everything appears to be in order. We will qualify all the items in the bid package. But again, the base bid for road construction, 329,520.23 for HIS Construction. Second bid package for the road improvements from Morphe Construction. That's MORPHEY. And their proposal for the road improvements totals $452,000. Again, we will qualify this to make sure all items are included and properly assembled. But this package is from Morphe Construction for the road improvements of, excuse me, say it again, 452,000.00. Now I will open the bid packages for the bridge improvements. We'll start this time with Morphe Construction. And their proposal for bridge construction is $571,677.50. with no discount if they are awarded both projects. Sorry, I guess I should say that one more time for the record. That number was 571,677.50 for Morphe Construction on the bridge package. And then the HIS Constructors package associated with the bridge structure. They have submitted a total base bid amount for the bridge replacement of $432,287. Again, HIS Constructors, 432,287.00 with a deduct alternate if they are awarded both projects of $17,287, giving you a total bridge alternate package of $415,000 even for HIS Constructors. Again, we will review these and be back before your next meeting with a recommendation for award after we've had a chance to qualify bids and deem who is most responsive and responsible.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin. All right. Next up is recommendation for inspection services for Whit Road Bridge.
Yes, thank you very much. So we just opened the bid packages for the Whit Road Bridge. Now we're talking about the inspection services. So we put out an RFP on January 11th for inspection services. We received 3 qualified proposals, one from Beam, Longest, and Neff, one from Kramer Companies, and one for Butler, Fairman, and Seifert. The proposals were reviewed and scored by myself, Scott Calvert, our inspector, Brent Wheat, representative from City Council, and Nick Parr, representative from Boone County, the Boone County Highway Superintendent. And after the scoring, it was very close, 3 very qualified proposals. but after the scoring, we are recommending that we enter into a contract with Beam Longest and Neff for the inspection work associated with that bridge reconstruction.
Okay, any questions for Kevin on that from the board?
I would
Okay.
ask for it to be pending legal review and authorize the mayor to sign.
Yeah, so would entertain a motion to enter into a contract for inspection services with Beam Longest and Neff concerning the Whit Road Bridge, pending final legal review and authorizing myself to sign on the board's behalf.
I'll make a motion, we approve the inspection services agreement with Beam Longest and Neff and authorize an approval from Rod and authorize the mayor to sign.
Okay, so we have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, that is approved, thank you, Kevin. Next is right-of-way services agreement approval for Fordyce Road.
Yes, thank you. What I have here is, it is an amendment to our existing contract for the design services associated with the Fordyce Road project. This is an amendment from GAI, our base consultant on that project, and this is for essentially additional work associated with right-of-way acquisitions. So there is roughly $92,640 that is not to exceed for right-of-way acquisition services, and $7,000 for additional topographic surveys, totaling a total for this amendment of $99,640. Again, not to exceed because the right-of-way services are based on how the process will go of obtaining those right-of-ways. Obviously, there are base things we have to do like surveys and appraisals and negotiations. But depending on how those negotiations go, sometimes there is additional consulting work that is required. Why? The reason for the amendment, you might ask. Be honest, the scope of the project has changed a little bit. Primarily, we have decided to also extend the trail that is proposed on that project, which was primarily from Fordyce Road from Grant Street to John Bart. We've proposed to extend the trail west along the north side of Fordyce to and connecting to the East Street path, so that we will have that open pedestrian connectivity from our key north-south path connecting downtown to Memorial Park, now going east of town. That will hopefully help spur further development and expansion of those path systems. So again, this is for additional right-of-way services above and beyond the original contract associated with the change of scope.
So this is for the area that is east of Grant Street now,
Yes.
is what we're talking
Or
about
west
here.
of Grant Street.
It's for west and east.
I mean, west of Grant Street.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was, so that was something that I kind of came to Kevin with after we'd already kind of sent everything out. We thought if we're going to have a trail on Fordyce, makes sense to connect it all the way into our East Street trail by the Armory. So that's kind of where the concept was so it was kind of a late addition, which is the need for the amendment, which again, connecting all these trails is kind of what the whole point of a trail is, right? So that's kind of why.
You're talking extending it to East Street, which is good, but are you going to be on the north side right there next to the Armory?
We are going to be on the north side, which will, maybe this is the direction you're going, it will require us to pour some new sidewalk and curb on top of the bridge there, so that we can widen that out to 10 foot. So we will be able to maintain a 10-foot trail. And again, we will just basically be epoxy bonding additional sidewalk and curb onto the bridge deck. There's enough width on the bridge deck to still have two 11-foot plus lanes of travel there.
There's no sidewalk there at the...
There is sidewalk on both sides of the bridge
No,
currently.
I mean, yeah, I know that. I'm talking, was getting at the Armory. There's no sidewalk there on that Armory side, is there, on the north side?
There is sidewalk on the Armory side. It's a combination curb and walk, so that will be
Okay.
extended. The bridge sidewalk will be extended, so we'll have a little bit of a jog in the path as you cross the bridge. And then essentially the path will run roughly 3 foot off the edge of pavement along the north side of the road. We chose the north side because the houses are further back and would lessen the impact. Where we were to choose the south side, we'd really be building that path in people's front yards. And this allows the people on the north side to still have plenty of room to park their cars in their driveways because those houses are set further back from the street.
Do we know what that right-of-way is right there at the Armory? Do we have?
It varies. Some places there is no right-of-way through there.
Yeah. That could be a little difficult.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why we pay another consulting firm to do that for us, so.
Along that same line from the, what we've known about the project up to this point, going from Grant to John Bart, sidewalks are going to be on just, what, the north side
So
or
there'll be a
both sides?
10-foot path on the north side and a 5-foot sidewalk on the south side.
What kind of path?
An asphalt path
Okay, an asphalt path on the north side.
on the north side.
Okay, and
And the sidewalk on the south side is only from Grant Street to John Bart, not west.
Yeah, because it ties back into Grant Street then, once it gets around the corner. They're at Grant.
There's already an old sidewalk there on the south side.
Yeah. Any other questions for Kevin on that? Okay. We'll entertain a motion then to approve the amendment for the right-of-way services agreement with GAI concerning Fordyce Road.
I make a motion, we approve the right-of-way services amendment for Fordyce in the amount of not to exceed $99,640. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, that is approved. And last one, Kevin.
Yes, thank you. Last one. What I have for you now, I mentioned this earlier, also associated with the Fordyce Road project. The Cedar Ridge development, which is being installed by Grand Communities LLC, will have homes built by Fisher Homes, is going to be constructed on the south side of Fordyce. Really right as you start the large series of S-curves there in front of the Centenary Methodist Church. They will have an entrance off of the south side of the road there, and because of that entrance, because of that development, they will have to extend storm sewers essentially to the right-of-way of Fordyce Road. And because Fordyce Road has no viable positive storm sewer outlet, we have asked them to upsize their storm sewers to receive the storm water from the road project, so it will become the primary outlet for the road project. And then we are proposing to enter into this agreement to reimburse them for those upsizing costs only. This is something that's quite often done with sanitary and water systems. You don't see it as often with storm sewer, but storm sewer is a utility, just like other utility services in the city of Lebanon. And so we feel is appropriate to do this. And this will provide us with a positive outlet again to improve the drainage and flooding all along the Fordyce corridor, including into the Morningside neighborhood.
Any questions for Kevin on that? Okay, then we'll entertain a motion to approve the Cedar Ridge Storm Sewer Upsizing Reimbursement Agreement, pending final legal review, and authorizing me to sign on your behalf.
so move.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, that is approved. Thank you, Kevin. All right, that concludes what I have for new business. Is there anything from the board? Okay, we'll move on to the claims, and we'll entertain a motion concerning the claims.
I make a motion, we approve the claims.
We have a motion to approve the claims. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Make sure we pay our bills. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Claims are approved. And any announcements or discussion? Okay, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Our next Board of Works meeting will be Monday, March 22nd at 6:15 PM. And Redevelopment Commission's up next.
All right.
For you.
Take care. Stay safe.